Hello creatures, welcome back to my channel. It's the first day of Camp NaNoWriMo and I'm very, very excited. So what with the pandemic and all and not working, doing uni from home and being in my house a lot, it's a perfect time for me to try and finally complete NaNoWriMo. I've been trying to complete NaNoWriMo since 2012. I've never managed it because every time I participate in either one of the camp NaNoWriMo sessions in April or June, or in NaNoWriMo itself in November, I get really unmotivated and I've never made it. The closest I've ever gotten, I think I wrote 24,000 and got stuck, but I really want to succeed this time. Because the camp NaNoWriMo sessions are a little bit more flexible with amounts, it's not a straight 50,000 words, I've decided to set my goal at 20,000. I will up that if my word counts each day look like I'm going to hit 20,000 fairly quickly, then I'll up the count accordingly. I'd like to get 30, like 50 would be incredible, but I've never made 50, so even just to hit 30,000 this time would be fantastic. That it'd be more than I'd ever done before, and it gives me a fair chunk towards my project. So my project this time has been my project for several NaNoWriMo sessions. I think it's my last 4 have all been this particular project, but this is the first time. Oh, actually, I think the last 2, it was in this format. I significantly changed the story in between a couple of them, and it's finally taken this shape. This draft that I'm currently working on is the first one that I've ever done in Scrivener, and Scrivener has really helped my process. It's made things much easier. It just works with how I like to plot stories, and it's so much more manageable than a single document where you have to scroll back and forth. It lets me jump around, it lets me fill in detail. So because this is the first time I'm doing it with that, I'm going to be working off a document that I already have set up that's at around 24,000 words, I think. So I'm hoping that I can add another 20,000 to that and hit around my 45,000 mark. 50 would be great for the whole project, but we'll have to see how I go. So basically, I'm going to be vlogging as much of Camp NaNoWriMo as I can. I don't vlog when my family members are home though, so there'll be some days where there's heaps of content, some days where I probably just fill it in later, but I'm going to try and keep a fairly consistent record of how much I write and how I'm feeling about the project as I go. So today I'm going to be starting on my first round of counts and probably trying to do some planning and plotting so that I've got somewhere to go once I've filled in the gaps in the initial part of my manuscript that I've already worked on. Because I've got roughly 11 chapters in part 1, and I think chapters 1 to 5, 6 and 10 I need to work on. I think those are all the ones that I actually need to flesh out and finish. So once those are done, I really want to work on to getting part 2 consistent, and then hopefully in June I'm thinking that I'll use that Camp NaNoWriMo to edit whatever I end up with in this one, and that way I'll end up with a really consistent story beginning and be able to build it up, but we'll have to see what happens. So I'm going to be starting that today. I am also doing the Owls Magical Readathon this year, and I'm doing that today as well, so I'm going to be sort of swapping between those 2 activities. So this will be purely the writing vlog, and then I'm concurrently filming my Owls reading vlog, which is a little bit intimidating because I've never actually vlogged very much before, but I don't know, I'm hoping it goes well. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to get stuck into it and I'll probably check in shortly. I'm about to get started on my first lot of writing. I'm thinking I'm going to be working on probably a little bit of chapter 1 and maybe some world building. I only need to do about 600 words a day to get to my 20,000 goal, but probably going to go for about 800 today and then build it up day by day and see how far I can get. So I've been writing for about an hour and I've written 1,268 words, which is actually a lot better than I was expecting. Like, I'm only aiming for 600 a day. So at the very worst, I've written 2 days worth of word count. If not, I'm double up to where I should be, so I'm really happy with that. I think I am going to write some more, but I'm not sure, so I'll probably update this vlog tomorrow. Hi guys, so I did end up writing more last night. I ended up writing 1,816 words for my first day of Nano, which I'm actually really happy with. It was much better than I was expecting. Like, it's really good word count for me for my first day in the first time I've been redoing it. So what I'm going to do, just going to load my stats on the website so I can show you. So I don't know how well you can see that. So there's my project title. Keely is the last name of one of my characters. It's just so I can differentiate all the different versions that I've done of this story. 1,816 last night. I need to write 627 words today. 0 days straight so far, but hopefully that will change today. I haven't added any of this other info. On average, I write 908 words a day. I'm going to fill in this stuff as I go. So at this rate, I'm going to finish on April 22nd, but hopefully that will go up if I write today. So that's word count, bar graph, which I haven't written anything today, so obviously it's quite low. So there's these dot points. So yesterday I only needed to have written 667 words, but because I wrote 1,816, I'm actually already over word count for today as well. I think that would be, yeah, there we go. Now it's focusing. So I meant to be on 1,334 today, but I'm up at 1,816. And tomorrow I need to have hit 2,000. So I only need to write 200 words today to be on track. I'm actually hoping to write another 1,000. So I'll be up to 2,800. So that'll take me up to day 4. Which, like, if I keep on this trajectory that I'm staying pretty consistent with word count, I'm definitely going to up my goal from the 20,000. But obviously I'm still not far enough ahead to be sure yet, but I'm going to get started on this very soon. I've got a couple of chores I need to do, and I think I've got a video chat today with somebody. So I should be writing mostly in the afternoons, if all goes to plan. I did also have to film a video today, which is my March wrap-up, which will, I imagine, go up before this video, but I had to do that. So today's been like admin, chores, and then an afternoon of reading and writing, hopefully. Also, like, I wasn't going to mention this today because it's not counted as part of my primary word count for camp, so it's largely irrelevant. I accidentally plotted an entire novella yesterday set in the world that I'm currently working on. It centres on one of the secondary characters, and it's a few years after this main book. I had an idea, so I followed it, and then it ended up being a lot bigger than I was expecting. So now what I have is this. That is the word count on my summary for a novella set in a world that I haven't finished writing and isn't part of my main universe. Why am I like this? And like, it's going to be a good novella, I know it is. It's got a heap of the stuff I like. The only thing is, it's more romance-based than magically or plot-based. Like, the romance is the plot, which is way different than the vibe I'm going for the rest of the story. So I'm thinking what's probably going to happen is I build out this world as much as I can, and I keep returning to it with different formats and styles and plots, I suppose. And like, even if I don't get this published, this might be my testing ground for different experimental forms. I don't know, I'd love to get it published, but if this is what it needs to be and this is my experiment place, then okay, I can deal with that. So that's exciting, it's just not part of it now. So actually, I wrote over 3,000 words yesterday, but I need to go and actually get stuff done now. So I'm going to stop talking, and I'll probably update this either later tonight or tomorrow, depending on how tonight goes. Alright, so sorry about the wind effect, I can't avoid it. I'm just gone for a walk because I hadn't left the house in like 3 days, which not great. I need to go outside some more, while this is all happening. So I'm on my walk. I'm about to go home and have my dinner and watch some TV with my mum. Hopefully I'll get some more writing done then. I don't know, today's been super slow. Like, I think I'm sitting on around 250 words, 300, and I've been working for hours. It's just not coming. So I watched some Firefly, I thought about stuff, and I got some snippets down. I'm going to try and add to it. Yesterday I did end up getting about 1,000 words, which was really good. I seem to be being very, very productive at night once I've gone to bed, so that's probably what's going to happen tonight as well. Darkness will fall, and then I'll get some massive burst of creativity. At least that's what I hope is going to happen. So yeah, that's what's going on with my writing, and we'll have to see what happens. I don't know, I'm really pleased with how I'm doing though. I'm a couple of days ahead of where I need to be already. So as long as I keep hitting those targets, I'm going to be happy, and I am going to try and do some writing and update every day this month. So let's see how it goes. It is Monday the 6th of April, which means we're 6 days into Camp NaNoWriMo. Didn't do a whole heap of filming over the weekend at all. Most of my writing is done at night at the moment, so it makes it really difficult to film. It makes it harder to film because my primary device is my computer and my secondary device is my phone. Completing filming on my phone is a little bit difficult at night because I don't use lights or any of that stuff when I'm filming. It's all natural, so that's why there's no clips. And my mum was home. I don't like filming around my mum. She's cool with it, I just don't like it. So what I thought I would do today, because I can't actually remember when I've been updating properly or which word counts I've actually talked about, I'm going to log on to the NaNoWriMo website and I'm going to show you what I've been working on, essentially. Okay, so these are my stats so far for this month. My total word count is 5,069 words. I'm actually really happy with that. I haven't done any writing today, so that is the total amount of words for my first 5 days of Nano. So I'm roughly averaging 1,000 words a day. I'm going to scroll down and actually have a look at my day-to-day average in a sec. But if we go down here, so this is my progress bar. I'm really pleased with this as well. This curve I'm really happy with. Considering this is my baseline and this is the curve I'm currently sitting on, I'm thrilled with that. That's fantastic. You can also swap over to the bar graph mode if that's easier for some people to see. Like, I'm really happy with this progression here. Just, it's so consistently high. I'm sticking to a pattern where I'm roughly 2 days ahead at all times, which is so much better than I was expecting. Like, I have got a fairly low goal. I'm only aiming to get 20,000 words by the end of the month. But I'm doing really well and I'm very, very pleased with it. So my average isn't that bad. I did have a couple of really rough writing days, as you can see here on the 3rd and 4th. I just hit some really bad mental blocks and I just couldn't get motivated to actually write. And I had to do some pretty decent plotting work on both of those days to fill in some narrative gaps that have come about as I've been progressing with this story. But that was work that needed to be done, and you can see here by how much I got written yesterday, like 1,257 words. It's the highest I've gotten except for the first, so I think it's fairly clear that that plotting work really, really was worth it for me to get to yesterday's word count. I'm hoping that I can stick to that again today. Now if we go down here, here's my daily word count graph. I find this really interesting actually, how you can see the progression of your motivation and all that stuff. I haven't filled in these other stats because my writing's so inconsistent through the day. And there's my average. So at present, I'm sitting on 1,013 words per day. And at this rate, I'll be finished on the 20th of April. If I'm finished on the 20th, I'm going to be thrilled. I will be upping my word count if I need to. But I'm also tempted to just leave it where it is and see how far past that I can get. So then I get the consistent scale of how I've been working. But I'm really, really thrilled with this. I think I'm making awesome progress. And yeah, so that's my stats for the time being. I also have one more thing to add. I have mentioned it already. I accidentally plotted a whole novella on the first day of NaNoWriMo. That was not meant to happen. It was completely accidental. But I'm thinking that's going to be my project for the next Camp Nano. Like, the initial plan was to add more to this story and keep going with my novel. But I gave the novella outline to a couple of my friends. They really loved it. They think it's a really consistent plot that I've got going through it. They really like the dynamic I've developed and the storyline that I'm kind of going with through it. So I'm thinking I might do that as a bit of a palette cleanser project. I have talked about already how one of my big things as a writer that I would love to do is build my own extended universe, and this feels like a really good step in that direction. Because this novella features one of the characters in my current novel, I feel like building out what he will become in a few years' time, because he's 15 in the story I'm currently writing. He's one of my main character's siblings. So if I can figure out who he's going to be, I feel like it'll give me a much better grasp of who he is right now and what I can do with that, which is massively exciting. And I just really want to write a romance. Like, this story is buzzing around in my head and I feel like I need to get it out, even though it's not one of my scheduled writing goals for this year. It's not one of my projects that I desperately want to get finished, but I really want to do it, so I think I'm going to. And then I'll have something that I can give to beta readers to get some feedback on. It'll develop out my writing style even more. I'm getting really passionate about this story already, so I'm thinking that's going to be a fantastic place for me to keep going right now, and it will give me a bit of a break from my current novel, because I think I'm going to need that. I've got about 17 chapters of this plotted so far, and it has 44 chapters, so I think I need to take a brain break on it a little bit after Camp Nano is done, unless I manage to get all this outlining done as well as the writing part. But once that's all finished, need a break to sort of build the ideas for this world and get the rest of that outlining done, and then potentially I'll either finish the main draft of the story in the meantime, or I'll set aside time in November and just smash out the rest of it then. I do want to have a second draft done by the end of the year for this story, but I don't know if that's going to happen. That's my plan. That's what's happening. I have to go write and do some more filming, and yep, I'm really happy. It's going well. So I'm going to be wrapping up the first week of my Camp NaNoWriMo vlog. So what I'm doing is I've got my stats up on my laptop here, and I'll be adding in screenshots so you guys can see what I'm talking about as the video goes on. In the first 7 days of Camp NaNoWriMo this year, I ended up writing a total of 6,355 words. I'm really pleased with that, since my goal is only 20,000 words. That puts me in a really, really good place as far as writing goes and keeping up to date with my targets. I've been sitting above my daily targets consistently. Some days have obviously been better than others, but that's just how this goes. So my best day was the first, which isn't surprising because I'm always got a lot more energy with starting Nano on that very first day, and I got 1,816 words. My lowest day was the third, which was 312 words. But aside from that 312, I've gotten a minimum of 640 words every single day, and I've had a couple of 1,000+ days since the first as well. So I'm keeping pace really nicely. I was hoping to get about 1,000 a day, but I'm sitting slightly under that at the moment, but I'm still really happy with it. The story is coming together really, really well for me. I've got nearly the whole first section of the book completed now. I've divided it into 4 with 11 chapters in each of those 4 sections, and section 1 is nearly done. Fantastic. I'm really, really happy with how this has gone, and it's just going so well. It's going so much better than any other camp or any other NaNoWriMo has for me. I definitely think not working and not being exhausted at the end of every day is helping me, just because I try and cram so much into my days, usually not working because of everything that's going on with COVID-19. That is letting me be more productive with this, but I am also someone who channels my energy into my work as much as I possibly can, so this is also helping me cope. So if anyone out there is having trouble redirecting their energy, or they're just not being able to focus, I'm not saying this is the best way or whatever. That would be utter rubbish. That is okay if you're not focusing. This is just how I cope with this situation. So I'm thinking I'm going to try and add 7,000 words in the next week, maybe 8, depending how productive I am the first couple of days, considering I've got a couple of assignments due, and then maybe ease off my pace in the last 2 weeks. I definitely want to have high pace weeks and lower pace weeks, just so I'm keeping my word counts consistent, but also giving myself room to be a human being and have bad days. So whether that will be next week or the weeks after, I'm not sure, but that's what I'm going to try and do. So that is my first week of NaNoWriMo. It's really, really exciting. I am thoroughly enjoying Nano. I don't know, it's just working for me in a way it never has before, and I really hope I can keep this energy up for the next 3 weeks as well. So I'm going to leave that vlog there. Let me know down in the comments below how your first week of Camp NaNoWriMo went and what your goal is for this month. I'd be really interested to know just what other people are doing, what your process is. Are you editing this month, or are you, like me, using it to try and get ahead on drafts that maybe you've been struggling with for a while? All my social media links are down in the description box below. Don't hesitate to hit me up on Twitter or Instagram. You are more likely to find me on Twitter. I also post very regularly on Goodreads what I'm reading. I don't post reviews on there as frequently as I do on this channel, but I am definitely going to be working on that in the future, so don't hesitate to add me on Goodreads either. Subscribe if you want to, like it if you did, and I will see you soon in my next video.